city is stepping up safety measures for workers who may come in contact with Ebola. This comes as federal officials revise their policies as well. CBS 2's Diane Macedo live from the Department of Sanitation headquarters in Lower Manhattan this morning. Diane.
Good morning, Chris. City leaders will be meeting with city workers and their union leaders to answer the big question: what happens if Ebola reaches New York? So at this meeting, among other things, they'll be discussing facts about the disease as well as precautions in place to protect police, teachers, emergency personnel, and other city workers. This all comes on the heels of another Ebola scare at an Ohio airport and some reassuring news out of Dallas. It's been 3 weeks since Thomas Duncan's family left their Dallas home for an undisclosed location to just sit, wait, and hope they weren't infected with the deadly Ebola virus. Today, they can breathe a sigh of relief.
Not only have they been isolated from the wider public and their own families, they've been isolated from each other, even in the house.
But that ends today as all 48 of Duncan's quarantined contacts complete their 21-day observation period and are no longer at risk of having the disease. 2 nurses who cared for Duncan before he died, however, are battling the virus, and that's sparking some changes in safety protocols for health professionals.
The guidelines did have some exposure of skin, in the sense you had a mask, but there was some skin that was exposed and some hair that wasn't exposed. We want to make sure that that's no longer the case.
The Pentagon is also readying a new military medical team to help contain any new cases. Meanwhile, Ohio's Youngstown Warren Airport had its own protocols tested last night after a passenger on a flight from Florida showed Ebola symptoms.
His eyes were rolling back into his head when he was having convulsions, and then when he'd wake, like his head would go back and forth, and they were trying to restrain him a little bit, and yeah, he threw up a couple, 2, 3, 4 times.
Called the hazmat team and both EMS respondents, and everybody responded. I think it was a good response, and now everything's cleared, and no imminent danger of any kind.
The passenger was stabilized and taken to a local hospital, but the airport director says inspectors found no sign of Ebola. And some of those passengers did complain about not getting enough information, but the airport director says they followed protocol to a T. Here today, New York City officials will be out to show that they also have a protocol should we get a scare or a real case of Ebola here in New York, especially when it comes to protecting government workers, which city officials say will help keep the whole city safe. That meeting kicks off here at 9:30, and we will give you the latest information, of course, as we get it. Live in Lower Manhattan, Diane Macedo, CBS 2 News.